When you boot up a game for the first time and see an energy meter, what runs through your mind? Well, for some people, it makes them lock in and makes them more engaged through energy management. Some people just groan at the idea, and some people even try to mod these systems out. And there are even people that are so inspired by the feeling that certain mechanics like the energy cells in Deus Ex bring you that they'll go out of their way to make a YouTube video about it. But Deus Ex Human Revolution makes you feel all these ways at once, almost perfecting the idea of energy in gaming. Yet they fumbled the mechanic at the very last second, which uncovers exactly what makes games great. Through this tremendously fun mechanic's devastating realization that we're going to discuss very soon. Energy cells in Deus Ex are the glue that hold this game together, and that's no exaggeration. They're responsible for everything from takedowns all the way to using some of your more physical augments. It works by having 2 to 5 energy bars available at any given time that you can choose to spend to activate these many different abilities. And it is genuinely fun and contributes to tense gameplay at many points in the game. For example, I was trying to sneak around, but one of the guards did a little head spin turn thingy and ended up spotting me. However, I'd foreseen this as it had happened to me in a prior mission, and I had to go loud once because of it. So this time, I made sure I had enough energy so that if he turned around like what happened before, then I had a safety net to keep my stealth status. Can you even begin to picture how rewarding it feels in the moment-to-moment gameplay to notice some small things guards do, get caught by it, prepare a countermeasure, and see my attention and my choices being rewarded in real time by the developers? Every time I ask someone who just got off a session playing some sloppy game like Genshin or Dying Light 2 for example, they cannot even begin to describe me anything close to these feeling first, fun-enabling, emotional experiences that they don't even know gaming should be bringing them. And this is the problem with modern day video games. Games being able to make you feel is what we need. When I come home from a fresh, brutal burger flipping shift, I don't want to see a new FOMO event or a new entry being announced while I'm halfway for finishing grinding camos in the first one. I just want to feel. And Deus Ex perfectly encapsulates those gaming exclusive feelings that stick with you months or even years after playing. How about another time where instead of instantly placing my upgrade points in the meta spot, I instead was forced to think, and I chose between the no fall damage upgrade or the extra energy cell spot. On the one hand, there are a few spots I've already missed out on due to not having the no fall damage upgrade. However, on the other hand, there's many times where having 3 energy points would let me stock up and take out areas where there's 1 guard alone and 2 guards together quite easily. I chose no fall damage, but do you understand how rare this kind of thought-promoting gameplay is becoming in the big 26? I've played a lot of games, and I know that when I put a call to action in a video saying, put your favorite games below, I bet they aren't AAA slop, that people, would you believe, put passion-based fun-first experiences as their favorite games. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We've discussed how the energy cells make you feel when you play, but what's actually going on under the hood? And what realization actually ruins this entire mechanic? There's a lot of reasons why the energy cells in Deus Ex work so well, but the main idea is that it's constricting you just enough to the point that you have to think to beat the encounter. If you had no energy system, you could go and take out every single guard extremely easily and beat the entire game stealthily like it was nothing. But the developers intentionally added these restrictions to make sure you have to think, which boosts player engagement, and I'm not gonna lie, it's just fucking fun. It's quite similar to the pager system in Payday 2, where you can only kill 4 guards before breaking stealth, converting a mind-numbing task of taking out all the guards and stealthing out the loot into a mind-bendingly engaging endeavor where you have to pick and choose which guards are the most dangerous, keep a pager spare just in case, notice patrol routes, and much more. There's an amazing video made by Up Is Not Jump that goes into depth on this idea of forced creativity through constraints and how it makes the VR game budget cuts work. What gaming likes to do now is use a lack of friction to make you feel special. And then once you're fully indoctrinated into the daily quest, the battle passes, the weekly quest, the everything, they slowly give you less and less until you're happy getting nothing and feeling nothing, and you waste multiple years on the worst game ever made. But the problem is that initial honeymoon phase never had any true value to begin with. Deus Ex Human Revolution, after an admittedly long opening cutscene, instantly provides you with multiple points of extreme catharsis when infiltrating that goddamn police station at your most constrained. Please subscribe. Now, to be truthful, I would have never thought of this without H-Bomber Guy's video, so I'm just gonna credit it now. It's a great video, he's a great creator, go watch it after this video. But there's an obvious glaring issue with Deus Ex's energy cells, and that's that the bottom one recharges infinitely, automatic, and so goddamn slowly. Exactly how there's times where the energy cells enabled me to feel joyous and cool at my decisions impacting situations, it also makes me feel incredibly frustrated and bored out of my mind when I gotta plant my ass down and wait so I can skip one guy guarding a place that I need to go. Waiting for cooldowns is already an extremely boring part of many games, and some parts of Deus Ex just, they kill me, bro. This mechanic could have been the cherry on top of an otherwise extremely fun experience, but instead, for no reason other than being scared of adding player friction, they gutted it at the very last second to cater to fucking journalists, I don't know. That constraint that makes the rest of the game so fun is what they were afraid to commit to, which means that eventually once you watch a 4-hour video about this cool game that you like, and they reveal its flaw completely, it ruins the entire mechanic for you, because you know it's not what it should be. And that flaw uncovers exactly what makes games great, and that's unapologetic constriction of the player in a way that simultaneously feels challenging, yet not impossible at the same time. A daring challenge that promotes focus and puts you in the flow state. That is what makes games great. Not battle passes that pay for the next one so it's good value. Not a new event where you can get a rare cosmetic but only if you log in and do missions for 20 days. And definitely not having to roll a fictional dice for fictional value. Join my Discord. So developers need to be allowed by the shot callers and decision makers at the top end to challenge the players. And everyone at every step of the process needs to understand that friction isn't something that will turn a gamer away, it's friction without substance. Deus Ex Human Revolution's energy cells almost perfected friction with substance, but they fumbled it at the very last second. All in all, I just want developers and top AAA decision makers to see just how fun some of the game mechanics are, and how they can improve others, to make the customers and the profit margins happy simultaneously. And by the way, I have a plethora of videos delving into nearly every mechanic in Cyberpunk 2077, so why not give one a whirl if you liked this one? Goodbye.